Hi, this is Karen from Mojo Global. Welcome to the Mojo Global Radio Show. Today we have as our honored guest, Deborah Sawyer. Deborah, welcome to the show.
Karen, thank you so very much for having me. I'm very excited about being here.
And I know some people call you Deb. I will say that, but I like your name, Deborah. So I'm going to call you Deborah. Would you be able to tell our audience in the Fort Worth Metroplex how you can be of a service to executives?
I have a Vistage group. I chair a Vistage group, CEOs, owners, founders, top level executives that have companies in and around the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. And we come together once a month for a learning meeting as well as an issue processing meeting to talk about what's going on in their business. There's a cliche out there that it's lonely at the top. But it really is. And when you start talking to CEOs, unless they've got a great board, and even then, they didn't put many of those board members in themselves. They don't have a whole lot of confidence in talking with their board. And this provides them with that opportunity. It's confidential. None of our members in my group compete against the other one. So we have opportunity to be very open and frank in our meetings. And I tell everybody, I am not there to give you any advice. I am just there to be your friendly facilitator and tell you that you've gone way off course and we need to get back into what we were trying to do.
Well, thank you, Deb. And I realize that beyond your being a Vistage chair, you have a really amazing backstory in your career. Could you speak briefly about that?
I tell people I was born and raised in the executive search industry. It was happenstance how I got there. I was a data analyst when we had small data, and a person who would have been called a mentor today. She and I were working on a train the trainer program. And she says, I want you to know I just took this assessment and I want you to take it because you're in the wrong job. And I go, what do you mean? She says, I want you to do Myers-Briggs. I'm going to guess you're an extrovert and the job you're in is an introvert job. And I think you need to change careers. And I just happened to have met this person at an executive search firm. And they're looking for someone who understands databases, but also has good rapport with executives. So let's talk about that. So I took the Myers-Briggs, and of course I was an extrovert. And then later I took the DISC, and I'm a pretty great I. So I was really in the wrong job. So I was happy that she made the recommendation to me. And it was a role I just thrived in. And I went from researcher to the head of research for the whole company to finally being promoted into a client-facing role, into a partner role, and then went on to become a equity-linked partner at another search firm. And then later had my own search firm, or working with CEOs for a very long time, helping them solve problems. And while I'm a facilitator today, more often than not, those CEOs put me into an advisory role. They wanted to know what I thought about, having Deb in this job versus in this job, or having Karen over here where maybe she should be better over here. And I spent a large part of my executive search career doing coaching. And this was before coaching became cool. I had all the tools and I got certified in all the tools to do all of the, assessments on personality and work behaviors, et cetera. If I worked for a search firm and the coaching was going to compromise what they wanted me to do in search, I still would do advisory for my client, but I wouldn't charge them. And then when I could, and I tell people probably wouldn't have made a dime during the financial crisis, I didn't have coaching to fall back on because clients were not paying for executive search. What they were trying to do was they were trying to keep their key employees. So they would hire myself and others like me to come in and work with these executives and ensure that they were happy and stable and they were up for the challenge within inside the organizations.
That, Deborah, is such a beautiful answer, not only to that question, but this truly shows your passion for doing what you're doing. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, what is the very best way?
Well, there is my Vistage Chair email, which is Deborah, Deborah. Sawyer, at vistagechair.com, all one word. And now you know I go by Deb. I said if I knew way back when I was going to have a 13-letter Gmail account, I would have changed my name that day. And then the best way really is on my cell phone, 404-229-8797. I prefer to get a text over an email if that works for that person, and then we can set up a phone call and move forward.
Well, I love it because you actually gave out your cell phone so someone can actually reach you. And I just appreciate you took the time to be on the show today. Thank you so much.
Well, again, thank you for having me, getting my message out there. And as you're right, this is something that I'm very passionate about. And the executive who suggested I do this was a former search client that I also coached his MBA student. So he knew where my passion really lied, and he took advantage of it.
Thank you so much. And to our audience, we always appreciate you. And we look forward to bringing you the next Mojo Global Radio Show. Bye.